PolishLynx here, and it is kind of surprising, I guess, a little bit. But yes, I'm making a return of the game that I've started long time ago. I've recorded it completely back then. I had it prepared, but after talks with the dev, so Invert Mouse, I basically postponed it, and I don't know, I kind of remembered about it recently because I was going through the files and asked him again if it would be okay to post the rest now, and we've got a green light. So right now in 2021 you will get to experience, if you haven't checked any of the old videos, the me from 2017. That's right. And the videos will still be in 720p? I actually don't remember if it was full HD already or not. But yeah, I'm bringing back Unhack 2, the continuation. So I hope you guys enjoy the me from 2017. I have no idea what to expect from that. Anyway, hope you guys have fun.
Yeah. Hey, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome to Unhack 2. We are back from the toilets. Yeah, that's where the guy in the game went in the end of the last one, so yeah, alright. Let's skip that part actually. So, great, now the office lights had all turned off. I flipped the nearest switch back and forth, but darkness continued to blanket this office. Should I laugh or should I cry? Cyberspace had turned into hell, and now the real world was also falling apart. I wondered if someone had spiked my coffee this morning with some kind of drug. Every monitor in my office now showed the face of that hooded man I had met earlier. If this was a prank, I would say it had gone way too far. I tried to look at the photos of Weedy and debug for support, but with the light switched off, their faces appeared ominous, as if they too had sided with the criminal. I waded up to my desk, and my butt almost missed the chair as I sat down, but at least I managed to sit without collapsing on the floor. Where are my employees? I asked, as crazy as the question might have sounded. You'd never had any. Since the hooded man had hacked into every computer in my office, his voice had an echoing effect. Okay, you win. I chuckled as if to confirm my mind has been broken. If you're trying to scare me, you've succeeded, alright. I took a deep breath to calm myself. Your clones have gone berserk, in case you haven't realized. You've got bigger problems to worry about. The man's impatient tone made me sweat. I felt so damn secure without Neonya by my side. The man softened his voice, perhaps sensing it had frightened me. I think it's time to learn the truth. Enough with your damn riddles, just shut the hell up and get on with it. Very well, prepare yourself. The man typed on his keyboard. There's no turning back now. A set of glitched up noises blasted through my speakers. I cupped my ears, yet the noises endured as if they were blaring inside my head. Oh no, these noises were in fact ringing between my ears. Unable to withstand the screeching, I let out a whimper, and my vision turned black as I fainted. Wait. I know this might be a weird theory, but maybe he actually has these chips implanted in his head. And what's happening here is actually happening because of these chips now. But that's just a theory I have now in mind. We'll see. Whoa. And maybe... Okay, never mind. When I regained consciousness, I found myself lying on the floor inside an unfamiliar office. I scrambled to my feet. I expected to be ambushed from every direction, but this place appeared to be deserted. This had to be one of the worst offices I had ever visited. The walls looked cracked, and the blinds were all creased up. Those chairs and monitors pointed at different angles as if the staff had just finished a brawl. Security cameras dangled under the roof. Either they had been set up to observe my every move, or they were used to keep an eye on employees, nefarious either way in my opinion. Many of the monitors had for sale signs taped to them, so I had a hunch this company was not doing too hot. Most important, I needed to figure out what this place was. I recalled losing consciousness after hearing those glitched up noises, so perhaps someone had dragged me to this place while I was down and out. The lights were dim, and with all of those blinds shut, natural light had no hope of peering through. This lack of light only made it more difficult for me to determine where on earth I was. My only clue were those A symbols, printed on chair's backrests. Wait, I recognize this shape. It was the logo of the Acme Antivirus, a rival company that had faded out of the public eye for 4 years ago. Yeah. So maybe my theory was wrong, and we have to deal with our previous opponent. A green screen had been set up against the wall in the concern of this lab. To my knowledge, these green screens were used for special effects in films. Facing this green screen was a laptop that sat on the top of a stool. I had no clue what this laptop was used for, and my gut told me some mysteries were best kept unsolved. Did that hooded man work for Acme Antivirus? To find out, I would need to interrogate him, but he seemed to have vanished again. So much for unveiling the truth, or whatever the hell he had planned for me. This office looked like a murder scene waiting to happen. Crap, this might be it. Perhaps the hooded man gave his employees a day off so he could kill me without having to worry about witnesses. If so, I needed to get out of here fast. There was a door on my right, so I assumed that was an exit. I bet the door was locked, and that hooded man was loading a pistol or picking up an axe in another room, but I still had to try. With my mind made up, I scrambled to the door and reached for the knob. When I coiled my fingers to grip the knob, my hand instead passed right through the metal. I had no idea how else to explain, but my hand slipped through the door as if I were a hologram. With a gulp, I took a step forward, and my body passed through the door without resistance. Hey, and there was nothing on the other side. No elevator, no hallway, no lobby, but simply pitch black. So you're still asleep, and somehow, if my theory is correct, that chip generates all this. So maybe someone hacked your chip. Okay, my theory is getting more and more ridiculous, but we'll see. I retreated from the blackness and wore them back into Acme Antivirus lab. With trembling legs, I lumbered up to a desk and attempted to bump my knee against it. As I had read my leg passed through the table. Weedy, debug, or even Neonya, please do not make me endure this nightmare anymore. Nightmare alone, sorry. I racked my brain trying to think of an explanation. Taking all of my observations into account, there was only one thing: virtual cameras. I still remembered how people lined up in stores when virtual cameras were first released. Place a virtual camera in the middle of a room and it would then record image data from all 360 degrees at 60 frames per second. With this data, AI could experience how it felt to explore a physical room. This also meant they could greet their creators face to face rather than through a screen. Well, kind of. Virtual cameras did not render AI into physical space, so AI could see us humans up close, but not the other way around. I heard Virtualtech was working on that for their next patch. While AI could install virtual cam eggs to explore a room, they could not touch any real-world items. Their limbs would instead pass through solid objects just as mine were doing now. But let me set this straight. Virtual cameras allowed AI to see the world from a human's point of view, but they did not transform AI into actual humans, or in my case, convert a human into AI. Wait, what if you do that? Actually, what if you did that? So you actually uploaded yourself to be the AI. Another theory, I guess. So in the end, I was still left with nothing but questions. Maybe I had already been killed and was now a ghost haunting my killer's office. As I swung my hand back and forth through a monitor, I spotted another door tucked in the corner of his lap. Might as well check it out. I turned up the door and cursed as I realized it was shut. Since I could not touch anything, there was no way I could. Oh, wait, never mind. I stepped forward and allowed my body to slip past the door. This room was so dark I almost thought I had stumbled into another black space. There was a virtual camera hanging from the roof, so that explained why this room was visible to my eyes. Actually, no. Spotting a virtual camera should not explain anything. Come on, virtual cameras were invented for machines and not humans. If my brain could access virtual cam exe, that would make me, would mean nonsense. Focus on the room. Creator. Programmers should search for a logical explanation behind every ordeal. This room looked as messed up as my mind felt right now. The table in the corner was stacked with so many books the legs might snap, and the floor had scrap paper scattered all about. I checked out one of the books sitting on top. The title was Business 101. Alright, let me take a look at this other one. Dominatrix of the Marketplace. Well, what a name! I read the spines of many other books, and I found some programming guides tucked within the business pile. No novels, comics, or anything else fun. The owner of these books must either be really focused or extremely boring. In the opposite corner sat a cupboard filled with medicine bottles. Pretty sure I was already on drugs and did not need any more, so I focused instead of finding other clues. There was yet another gun concealed in the corner. Perhaps against my better judgment, I strolled through the door to see what was on the other side. Another black space, which must mean there was no virtual camera installed in this room. More important, I now felt certain my mind could connect to virtual cam exe, and my eyes were useless without those cameras. All of this pointed to the fact that I was an AI, or I had been tricked into believing I was no longer human. Impossible. I was in my office only a minute ago, and back then I sat and used my keyboard just fine. AI, how ridiculous. All of this would make sense soon enough. I retreated into the dimly lit room, and as I entered I spotted a hollow display projected against the adjacent wall. Unable to touch anything, I could only stand and stare at the screen. Then again, if I truly were an AI, I should be able to interact with neighboring devices no problem. Time to test out my theory. I squeezed my eyes shut and muttered, "Scan for nearby devices." Before I had a chance to question if I had gone insane, a mechanical voice sounded inside my head. 7 devices detected. No way. When I opened my eyes and tried to lean against the wall for support, my hand slipped through and almost caused me to topple over. Somehow, a human had been transformed into an AI. That voice said 7 devices detected, so 6 of those must be the computers from the lab outside. This time I kept my eyes open and thought, connect to nearest device. The monotone voice once again answered, access denied, password required. I should have known. Well, I was the victim here, so I had no need to worry about invading other people's privacy. Let me hack into this whole display. The one that thought crossed my mind, the mechanical voice replied, please select hacking tools. If this was a dream or a drug-induced trip, I might as well roll along. Anyway, this was not so different from doing my job with the keyboard. It in fact felt much more direct. Well, human or machine, it was time for business. Whoa, what the heck? Oh, I know what this is, the jumping. Alright, the next one jumps by 3. Oh, I messed up here. Oh, I messed up big time now. Okay. Oh, I messed up again. Okay, it's fine. Fuck. I did the same thing again. I keep forgetting about the jumps. Oh, come on. Right. Shit. This will be tough now. I messed up again. Right. Okay, now the guessing game. Let's start with the top left corner. Yes! Whew. The guessing game went correct. I had bypassed the lock on this holo display. Time to take a peek inside. I found what appeared to be a series of diary entries. There were thousands of posts, and with my AI reading speed I might as well start from the beginning. Entry 1 started. Writing diary entries. Had bacon and egg toast for breakfast. It was a good day. Alright, maybe I should skip through a lot of these. I did not think this whole display to read about breakfast recipes, so I scrolled down to one of the more recent entries. Entry 2056. Experiment failed again with Ultra version 13.0. Lasted for 8 days in this time, so at least we have a new record. Reason for fail. Attempted to exit the smart security office. Say what? Finally some more clues on this Ultra character. The entry said Ultra tried to leave smart security for. I had worked in that place since day one, and I did not know of anybody who went by that name. Entry 2057, ready to release Ultra version 13.1. Considered rendering models of street outside smart security, but infeasible due to budget constraints. Entry 2058, thought of a solution in the shower. I'll modify Ultra's code so he opts to eat and sleep in the office. Oh crap. So my theory might be correct a bitly, so yeah. He might be an AI, minor difference from subject, but an inevitable compromise. I had a bad feeling about this. Entry 2059, finish revising Ultra's code, skipping to version 13.3, improved lighting and texture in smart security office. Entry 2060, how will Ultra perform in chats with humans? I won't be satisfied until the Turing test becomes a joke for him. We'll play the role of an AI to conduct observations. Entry 2061, green screen and costume purchased. Program X and the clones also ready for deployment, commencing test on Ultra version 13.3. Entry 2062, Ultra has become more human-like than any AI I have seen. Perhaps it's truly possible for machines to have souls. They just need the right environment and I'm going to find it. Entry 2063, Ultra's will to save Program X is astounding, and it's all because he believes he's the creator. I foresee a breakthrough in our understanding of the human consciousness. Entry 2064, the government has been alerted, but I've come too far to stop now. Activate the defense programs to avoid detection, I must know the truth. Entry 2065, Ultra thought Neonya had gone rogue and I had to shut her down. I reacted too slowly and failed to play long. Ultra is becoming suspicious. And then the final entry, which was posted 15 minutes ago. Entry 2066, the creator has caught on and wants to help Ultra, but I need more time. Just one more version and I will secure my place in the history books, preparing for shutdown. Shut up. That final word made me tremble, as I now knew who Ultra really was. I shuddered and footsteps approached, but this room was too dark for me to make out the advancing figure. My poor Ultra, came a woman's voice. Neonya's voice, to be precise. And then Neonya strode up to me from the shadows. She had her beret back on, but I of course had greater concerns. For the first time, I met Neonya not through a monitor, but face to face like she was a real person. What a foolish thought, as I now knew Neonya had in fact been human all along. Neonya, I mumbled, unsure of how else I should address the woman who I thought had been my AI creation. Your time is up, Ultra. Neonya's lips arched into that same teeth bearing grin from earlier. You should have stayed in smart security like a good lab rat. Here I stood on the verge of collapse, yet Neonya smirked as if this was just another day in the office. For her, it probably was. So you are a bad character. God damn it. According to those diary entries, I had caught on to the lie before. Neonya, or whoever this woman was, must be used to my reaction by now. Neonya tried to maintain eye contact, but she looked slightly to the side. With virtual cameras, AI could see humans, but not the other way around. That must be why Neonya, as a human being, struggled to pinpoint my position. The way she glanced several degrees away made the situation all the more unnerving. If I accepted this as the truth, it would mean everything I had ever believed in was a lie. In a final act of defiance, I wanted to deny it and restore order to my world. You need to be diagnosed once, my voice quivered as I knew how rude I must have sounded. As your creator, I demand you obey immediately. Get over yourself. You're a pawn, Ultra. A pawn just like Program X, just like those weedy clones. You're completely broken. I reached for my keyboard only to realize I no longer had one. Okay, so hold still and let me... Neonya raised her voice at me for the first time. I said get over yourself! A siren blared throughout the antivirus office. I covered my ears, but the deafening noise refused to cease. No, the sound was in fact ringing inside my head. A chain of messages played through in my mind. There were so many of them I could hardly keep up. Warning! Decryption tool damaged in 384 sectors. Error! 50 reverses located in system. Malware found in system. Fail-safe execute switch the power lock at the attempt to remove programs. Yeah, and hurry up about it. Error, unable to remove software. Reason, not enough memory. Failed to access 98% of power capacity. Neonya stared through my blurred vision as if to confirm this was her doing. I had emergency shadow programs hidden inside my system and Neonya must have activated all of them. My knees buckled and I fell onto all fours. For Neonya, this was a scene she had watched countless times, but for me, it was the most terrifying thing I had ever experienced. Another disappointment, Neonya's muffled voice echoed in my ears. I guess this is goodbye. Neonya's eyes widened as footsteps sprinted in our direction. Great, it must be another criminal running in to humiliate me during my moment of demise. A black-haired figure ran up to my side as she offered me a hand. I made out the mask of Program X. Just like Neonya, she too stood before me as if she had crawled up from inside the monitor. I took Program X's hand and she pulled me up from the floor. The fact that we were able to touch confirmed she and I were AI. Program X's finger felt warm to touch. Sure, I was just coded to feel that way, but it still afforded me some comfort in this nightmare. You've been real naughty of late, Program X, Neonya said. Program X stepped in front of me to act as my shield. I won't let you hurt Ultra anymore. Neonya rolled her eyes around in a full circle again. I thought I had called it this feature in her, but now she was showcasing just to ridicule me. It's a small price to pay, Neonya said. My research will change our world forever. Program X shook her head. You're only in it for the fame, mother. Now I knew what those books in the room were about. Neonya must be some kind of businesswoman. One who'd stop at nothing to achieve her goals. It's her! The one from the previous one. The one that sacrificed you know who. If you play the game. Program X and Neonya's voices grew fainter by the second, and my vision also continued to blur. Well, not really sacrifice, it was a little different, but... well, you could call it that, I guess. So this was how it felt to be a dying man, or a dying AI in my case. Maybe I never should have asked for the truth. That way Neonya and I could have continued to play along as partners. Better to survive in an illusion than to pay the ultimate price. Of course, there was no true death for an AI. If a system reformat counted as death, then according to those dire entries, I had already been killed dozens of times. My devotion to smart security, my love for Weedy and Debug, they had all been lies. Joy, anger, sadness, nothing but a pile of code that could be deleted on a whim. Go on, activate my shutdown programs, Program X said to Neonya. I'd rather die as free AI than to live as your puppet. Program X's resolve made me feel ashamed for clinging on to my life. If I got caught in a shipwreck, I wondered if I would kick baby side just to get on the last rescue boat. Even the fear I sensed now was nothing but code. My survival instincts were programmed by my creator, who was apparently a woman in red standing before me. Neonya put a hand over her mouth to stifle a yawn. You don't have any shutdown program, Program X. You're not even worth the effort. If someone had insulted me like that, I would have chased him until he changed his tone, but Program X remained still, showing more poise than I ever knew. Trusting you with those clones was a mistake, Neonya said. I always knew you'd turn on me someday. Neonya dropped onto one knee and typed on a keypad hidden under her desk. There was a square outline beneath the table, so that keypad must activate some kind of trapdoor. I had failed to notice it before, and now it might be too late. Even if Neonya remained silent, I could guess what was stashed under this trapdoor. My machine must be hiding down there, and once Neonya switched off, I would be a sitting duck for her to do as she pleased. I tried to pull the same sound with her less than an hour ago, so perhaps this was karma. Neonya looked bewildered as the keypad puzzled and denied her access. A second and third try produced the same results. Neonya glared at Program X and me in turn as if suspecting we might be responsible for locking the trap door. Please, I would not be paralyzed here if I possessed that level of foresight. Dang, the creator always running my plans. Neonya mumbled. Pity, but I can still kill you the old-fashioned way. Neonya strolled out of her room and into a computer lab. After a casual glance around the office, she sat down at the computer and typed so fast her fingers were a blur. A hiss sounded as a green energy orb formed above my head. The fireball descended before I even had time to panic. Okay, that color basically tells me that she's really the one we fought before. Normally I would dodge an attack like this at the last second for dramatic effect. Now with me paralyzed by Neonya's emergency protocols, all I could do was stand still and embrace my demise. This was it, then, doomed to serve as Neonya's lab rat for eternity. Once my system restarted, I would forget the truth, and the vicious cycle would repeat. Program X grabbed my wrist and jerked me out of harm's way, but the force of Neonya's blast was still enough to send us skidding across the floor. I winced as blood trickled down the cuts along my arms. Not real blood, obviously. AI were programmed to bleed when damaged so their creators could provide aid. The color of an AI's blood was determined by his creator, and looked like mine was green. No one had ever wounded me in battle before, so I never knew any of this until today. With me still frozen, I could only watch as Program X climbed to her feet and pulled me back up for a second time. When she gripped my hand, a jolt of electricity coursed through my system. I've given you some of my processing power, Program X said. It's not much, but you should be able to move. When Program X said it was not much, she really meant it. She had next to no strength to begin with, which only made me all the more thankful. It also made me wonder why she cared for me so this much. If Neonya was in fact human, then Program X's true identity was also up for grabs. I should worry about it all later, for first I must put a stop to my shutdown programs. Wasting no time, I put my newfound power to use. Stopping advanced processes. Successfully stopped 8 out of 37 programs. The strength malware, attempt unsuccessful, reason not enough memory. A scan revealed close to 100% of my system had been locked up. If I could still operate in this state, then must mean I was one hell of an AI, perhaps the most powerful in all of cyberspace. If I could restore my strength, even Neonya would tremor at the sight of me. She was, after all, only human. Unfortunately, I had more immediate issues to deal with right now. Another fireball hits above my head, followed by 2, then 3 more. Soon there were projectiles floating on the roof, ready to rain death upon Program X and me. Mother, please stop! Program X pleaded. Only the best AI have the right to serve me. You're no daughter of mine, Program X. Program X's mask kept her expression hidden, but her sniffling could still be heard. Neonya's words must have stung her like a knife to the back. Right then, Program X said. Thank you for everything, Miss Director. I knew it. At last, I had uncovered Neonya's true identity. Miss Director, the founder of Antivirus, a wound had vanished from the public eye 4 years ago. Told you. That might be our opponent from the past. The creator and Miss Director, they both produced viruses out of greed for more profit, but only one of them got caught. Smart security state afloat when Antivirus filed for bankruptcy. The world had speculated on Miss Director's fate after her stay in jail. Some said she became a nun, while others claimed she had committed suicide. But she's hot. But I don't like that. That expression kind of destroys everything. Sorry. Like everything else online, people soon grew bored of the topic and jumped onto other matters, but the point was that terrorists were all wrong. Miss Director had in fact been plotting a new project, and I had the honor of serving as her guinea pig. This woman had even constructed a model of smart security to make believe I was the creator. No wonder why I was able to sit on those chairs and operate the computers around my office. The smart security I knew was a toy house, and Miss Director had been steering me all around like a doll. Those smart security employees must have been other AI coded by my Miss Director. I always thought they lacked in personality. If Miss Director had written up some office drama, that might have helped with the realism. Miss Director tapped the enter key and all the fireballs rained down at once. I had just enough energy to dodge a couple of projectiles that grazed my arms. The heat of those fireballs meant me grimaced, but the will to survive pushed me to keep moving. Program X, having surrendered some of her energy, moved even slower than before. I felt bad for things, but I could see why Miss Director never bothered to install any emergency shutdown code into her system. Program X yelled as a fireball struck the side of her head, shattering her mask into fragments. Projectiles continued to rain without mercy, scorching the mask's remains into ashes. And with that, I got to see Wait, aren't you the one that earlier appeared? And boom, like power level of 1 or something like that? Okay, maybe? You know, what was the name? I don't remember. Okay, never mind. With that, I got to see Program X's face for the first time, or at least the first time based on what was stored in my memory bank. Program X had a rounder jaw than the real Miss D-Bug. And her, because that's not her, and her lips were also wider, giving her more childish appearance. Or maybe that's her, but long time ago? AI could change faces at will, but I felt confident Program X and Miss D-Bug had been two separate entities all along. Yeah. Since I was not really the creature I doubted I had ever met the real Miss D-Bug, I knew what she looked like only from that photo in the fake smart security office. There were traces of green blood on Program X's forehead. I had been a nuisance to her ever since I covered the truth, and probably way before that as well. "We need to escape," Program X said, an obvious conclusion but an accurate one nonetheless. I should in order to disconnect from Acme antivirus, which should require only a second or two. Just as I thought I was free, a firewall materialized, trapping Program X and B in a circle. I slammed my fist against the firewall, which did nothing but produce a set of ripples. "Don't give up, we can still hack our way out," Program X huffled for air. She must be exhausted from all the dodging back and forth. Program X was in no state to be doing any hacking, so it was up to me now. I opened the start software and went to work. Come on, give it to me. Alright, one jump, 3 jumps here. Where am I, by the way? Alright, I will go in a very dangerous position. Okay. Yeah, I should probably wait for this. Fuck. I should probably wait for the moment. Okay, let's have a look at how they move. Okay, let's wait for the moment one of the... Wait. Alright, you move 2 spaces at a time. Alright, I have to hide here. And here. Alright, I'm good to go. For now. Oof. Oh yes! Hacking done well. Not really. The firewall faded away and not a moment too soon. Good thing my AI mind could operate much faster than humans even in this broken state. I issued a log out command and waited for my circuits to respond. Those viruses inside me hindered my reaction time, but this should still take no more than a few seconds. Program X's body disintegrated as she logged out of Acme virus. I could not believe my response time had been slower than hers. This was no time to go competing, but I could not deny the disgrace I felt. "Lucky for you, I got other priorities," Miss Dark said. "Enjoy freedom while it lasts. I'll be coming for you to real soon." Good luck. At last, I disconnected from Acme antivirus, allowing me to be spared from Miss Director's threats. And so, basically, we are logging out from this video as well. We'll disconnect it from this video. Let's end it here and I'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.